Picture this. More than 40% of older adults rely solely on walking as their main form of exercise. At first glance, it seems logical, safe, and even ideal. Walking is accessible, free, and familiar. But here lies a surprising truth. Walking alone is not the golden ticket to health after 60. In fact, depending exclusively on it can leave important aspects of the body untrained, such as balance, flexibility, and deeper muscle strength. What appears harmless may actually create hidden vulnerabilities that only show up with age, often in the form of falls, joint pain, or reduced independence. What most people don't realize is that in Japan, where elders are among the longest living populations on Earth, daily health practices go far beyond simple walks. Movements have been refined over generations, passed down as traditions and cultural rituals, designed not just to move the body, but to restore energy, realign posture, and protect against decline. These aren't extreme workouts or demanding sports. They are gentle yet powerful movements that respect the rhythm of aging bodies while awakening strength, stability, and calmness. Today you're about to discover 5 of those Japanese secrets, 5 movements proven to be more beneficial than walking once you reach your 60s. Each has its own unique story. Some target the legs and core in ways walking never could. Others improve breathing capacity or unlock hidden flexibility in the spine. What unites them all is their ability to give back something vital: control over your own body. These are not mere exercises. They are gateways to independence, confidence, and longevity. The central feeling I want you to hold on to is hope. Too often the world tells people over 60 that the body only deteriorates, that fragility is unavoidable, and that strength is gone for good. But the Japanese approach shows us something entirely different. The human body has an incredible ability to renew itself, no matter the age, as long as it receives the right type of stimulus. You don't need endless hours of exhausting walks or overwhelming routines. What you need is intelligent movement, precise, mindful, and designed for your stage of life. Here's the beautiful part. These movements don't just work the body, they nurture the mind and spirit. In Japan, physical activity is never disconnected from inner balance. Breathing, posture, awareness, all combine into a practice that reduces stress and increases focus. When you start applying even a few of these movements daily, you may notice not just stronger muscles but also better mood, calmer thoughts, and deeper rest at night. It's like an invisible medicine, one that doesn't come in a pill, but in simple rituals of movement. Before we begin with the first one, I want to invite you to share your age and the country you're watching from in the comments. This space is building a community of people committed to living not only longer, but better. Every story matters, and your experience can inspire someone else. Now let's look more closely at why walking alone might not be enough, and how Japanese wisdom reveals a richer, more complete path. For decades, walking has been promoted as the safest and most universal form of exercise. Doctors recommend it, communities build walking paths, and friends often gather just to stroll together. It feels easy, natural, and harmless. Yet depending only on walking can create an illusion of safety. While it does support cardiovascular health, it neglects critical areas that become increasingly fragile after 60, such as joint stability, core strength, flexibility, and posture. That's why many seniors who walk daily still experience falls, back pain, or reduced mobility. The truth is, walking by itself is not the full answer. In fact, relying too much on walking may quietly reinforce poor posture. If someone leans forward slightly or favors one side due to past injuries, repeated walking only deepens those imbalances. Over time, this can strain the hips, knees, and ankles, leading to discomfort or even injuries. Ironically, the very activity meant to preserve independence can sometimes accelerate decline when practiced without variety. This is where hidden dangers emerge, not in the walking itself, but in the absence of complementary movements. Japanese culture approaches health differently. Instead of assuming one form of exercise is enough, elders integrate a combination of small but intentional practices. The philosophy is holistic. Movement should nourish the body, calm the mind, and align the spirit. In Okinawa, for example, one of the regions with the highest number of centenarians, daily routines include stretching, mindful breathing, balance exercises, and functional movements woven seamlessly into daily life. Walking is not ignored, but it's never treated as the ultimate solution. Contrast this with the Western approach, which often focuses heavily on cardio and calorie burning. While useful, that mindset misses deeper aspects of longevity. The Japanese understand that true vitality comes from keeping the body resilient in all dimensions: strength, flexibility, coordination, and energy flow. This balance is what allows people not only to live longer, but to remain active, self-sufficient, and joyful in their later years. Modern science is now confirming what these traditions have long taught. Studies show that seniors who incorporate diverse movements, squats, stretches, mindful breathing, enjoy better balance, reduced fall risk, stronger bones, and improved mental clarity compared to those who only walk. In other words, variety is not optional. It's essential for protecting independence. So while walking has value, it's not the complete picture. Think of it as one color in a larger painting. Without adding the other colors, the image remains flat and unfinished. What Japanese longevity practices offer is the full canvas: rich, balanced, and deeply effective. And here's something you might not expect. Among the movements you'll soon learn, the very first is rooted in the strength of sumo wrestlers, yet it has been adapted into a gentle but powerful exercise for older adults. This single movement alone can protect joints, build balance, and awaken leg muscles more effectively than hours of walking. Let's begin there. Let's begin with the first Japanese movement, one that at first glance seems simple but carries incredible power: Shiko, also known as the sumo squat. Traditionally practiced by sumo wrestlers, it may sound intimidating, but when adapted for older adults, it becomes one of the safest and most effective exercises to strengthen the lower body. Imagine standing tall, raising one leg slightly to the side, then lowering into a gentle squat before returning to the center. It's controlled, deliberate, and deeply grounding. What makes Shiko so special is that it doesn't just build muscle, it trains balance and stability in a way walking never can. When you lift your leg and lower into the squat, your body is forced to stabilize, activating core muscles and smaller stabilizers in the hips and ankles. These are the very muscles that protect you from falls, one of the greatest risks to health and independence after 60. Walking rarely challenges them directly, but Shiko does it with every repetition. At first, it may feel unusual. After all, most people are used to forward motion, not wide, grounded movements. But this is why Shiko is so effective. It wakes up parts of the body that daily life often leaves dormant. And it's precisely those underused muscles that determine whether someone can climb stairs confidently, get up from a chair without struggle, or catch themselves if they trip. There's also a symbolic element to Shiko in Japanese tradition. Wrestlers use it not only to prepare the body, but to clear the mind, stamping their feet as a way of grounding their energy and releasing tension. For seniors, this can add a layer of mindfulness. Each movement becomes more than just exercise. It becomes a ritual that connects body and mind. The rhythm, the breathing, the deliberate pace, all contribute to calm focus and mental clarity. The beauty of Shiko is its adaptability. You don't need to squat deeply to gain benefits. Even a partial movement performed slowly and with control strengthens the thighs and hips while encouraging better posture. Over time, the exercise builds a sense of rootedness, like your feet are firmly anchored to the earth. That stability transfers into everyday tasks, carrying groceries, reaching for something on a high shelf, or walking on uneven ground. Emotionally, Shiko can spark confidence. Many older adults feel fragile, worried about their balance or strength. After just a few weeks of consistent practice, the difference is noticeable, not just in the body, but in the mindset. There's a renewed sense of, yes, I can move with power again. That feeling of empowerment is priceless. Science has long confirmed what Japanese tradition has practiced for centuries. Leg strength is one of the most important predictors of longevity and independence. Researchers have found that older adults with stronger legs tend to live longer, recover faster from illness, and maintain higher levels of independence compared to those with weaker lower bodies. In fact, studies published in medical journals show that poor leg strength is closely linked to falls, fractures, and even cognitive decline. The body and brain are connected, and when the legs grow weak, the entire system begins to suffer. This is where Shiko becomes more than just an exercise. It becomes a lifeline. Unlike walking, which mostly conditions endurance, Shiko directly strengthens the thighs, hips, and core. These areas form the foundation of mobility. When they are strong, daily activities like rising from a chair, climbing stairs, or maintaining balance on uneven ground become effortless. When they are weak, even the simplest tasks can turn into risks. Japanese elders understand this intuitively. In many communities, older adults continue practicing variations of Shiko well into their 80s and 90s. There are stories of centenarians who, despite their advanced age, perform these movements every morning as part of their routine. For them, it's not about exercise as a chore. It's about ritual, health, and dignity. By maintaining their legs, they protect their freedom. Take, for example, the story of an elderly sumo teacher who, after an illness, found himself unable to walk without assistance. Doctors encouraged light walking, but his recovery was slow and frustrating. When he returned to practicing modified Shiko, starting with very small movements and gradually increasing his depth, his body responded in remarkable ways. Within months, his legs regained their strength, his balance improved, and he no longer relied on support to move around. His story illustrates the power of targeted movement, something walking alone could not provide. The impact of leg strength goes beyond the physical. Strong legs improve circulation, delivering more oxygen to the brain and supporting clearer thinking. They stabilize the spine, reducing back pain that often limits activity in older adults. They also release endorphins, improving mood and combating the sense of fragility that can creep in with age. In short, every squat is more than just a physical action. It's an investment in the body's future. The lesson is simple yet profound. Longevity is not just about adding years to life, but about adding life to years. A strong body provides confidence, independence, and joy. And with something as straightforward as Shiko, that strength is always within reach. Now that you've seen how science supports this traditional movement, let's continue the journey. The next Japanese practice may appear gentle and even meditative, but hidden within it lies one of the most powerful ways to calm the mind, open the body, and restore balance. The second Japanese movement we uncover is called Kansha Taiso, often translated as the gratitude stretch. At first, it may seem too simple to be considered exercise. It combines gentle stretching with mindful breathing and a deep sense of thankfulness. But behind its calm appearance, this practice carries profound benefits for the body and mind. Benefits that walking alone cannot provide. Kansha Taiso is performed slowly, often in the morning, with movements that open the chest, extend the arms, and lengthen the spine. The key lies not only in the physical stretch, but in the mindset. Each motion is accompanied by a moment of appreciation for the body, for life, for the day ahead. This is where the Japanese philosophy of integrating spirit and movement shines. Instead of moving mechanically, every gesture is intentional, filled with awareness. Why is this important for older adults? Because stress is a silent enemy of health after 60. Elevated cortisol weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep, and accelerates aging. Kansha Taiso directly counters this by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural calming mechanism. As breathing slows and the body stretches, cortisol levels drop, blood pressure decreases, and a sense of peace spreads throughout the system. Science has confirmed that these states of relaxation can be as healing as physical exercise itself. In Okinawa, where elders are known for their longevity, group sessions of gentle stretching and gratitude-based movements are a common sight. Communities gather not only to move, but to cultivate joy together. The stretching keeps joints flexible, the breathing restores energy, and the gratitude fosters emotional resilience. It's no coincidence that these elders maintain not just long lives, but lives filled with connection and contentment. Consider a simple example. A woman in her 70s who begins her day with Kansha Taiso. Before she makes breakfast, she takes 5 minutes to slowly raise her arms, inhale deeply, and thank her body for another day. As she exhales, she bends gently, stretching her spine and releasing tension from her back. This ritual may seem small, but it transforms her morning. Instead of stiffness and worry, she begins with openness and calm. That mindset carries into the rest of her day, influencing how she eats, how she interacts, and how she rests at night. The practical lesson here is that health is not only about muscles and bones. It's also about the invisible balance of the nervous system, the alignment of posture, and the emotional state that shapes every choice. Kansha Taiso offers a complete package: flexibility for the joints, oxygen for the brain, calm for the heart. It is one of those underestimated practices that seem almost too easy, but deliver extraordinary results. And while this second movement focuses on flexibility and inner calm, the next Japanese practice will surprise you even more. It looks like a form of yoga, but it is uniquely Japanese, designed to realign the body's energy and awaken vitality in ways most seniors never experience. The third Japanese practice is known as Makko-Ho, often described as the Japanese form of yoga. Unlike traditional yoga, which can sometimes feel overwhelming with complex poses, Makko-Ho is built around a series of simple, flowing stretches designed to stimulate the body's energy channels, known in Eastern medicine as meridians. The movements are slow and intentional, making them highly accessible to older adults while still deeply effective. At first glance, Makko-Ho looks like a gentle stretching routine. You sit, bend forward, reach, and hold positions for a few breaths before returning slowly. But what isn't obvious is the hidden benefit. Each posture is crafted to open specific areas of the body, improving circulation, digestion, and even emotional balance. For example, one of the stretches targets the spine, gently lengthening it and relieving tension from the lower back, a common source of pain for seniors. Another focuses on the abdomen, supporting digestion and breathing. This is the side of movement that people rarely hear about. Exercise doesn't just strengthen muscles, it also influences how well our internal systems function. Walking may burn calories, but it won't realign your posture or open compressed areas of your body. Makko-Ho does both, while also encouraging a deeper awareness of breathing. That connection between breath and movement calms the nervous system and restores a sense of control, something especially valuable as the body changes with age. Scientific research has started to validate these traditional claims. Studies on stretching practices similar to Makko-Ho show improvements in spinal flexibility, reduced lower back pain, and better regulation of the autonomic nervous system. Participants often report not only physical relief, but also mental clarity and reduced anxiety. This is the hidden dimension of Makko-Ho. It's not only about what the body feels, but about how the entire system rebalances. One story often told in Japanese communities is that of an elderly craftsman who practiced Makko-Ho every morning before beginning his work. Despite spending long hours sitting and bending, he rarely experienced the stiffness or pain common in his peers. When asked about his secret, he simply described his daily stretches, emphasizing the importance of keeping the channels open. For him, Makko-Ho wasn't exercise, it was maintenance, like oiling the joints of a machine to keep it running smoothly. The practical effect for modern seniors is clear. By spending just 10 minutes on these movements each day, you can protect the spine, aid digestion, ease tension, and support calm breathing. These benefits extend far beyond what a regular walk provides. Makko-Ho invites the body to move in directions walking never touches: forward folds, lateral stretches, and seated postures that refresh areas otherwise neglected. And as we move forward, the Japanese secrets continue to unfold. The next practice may appear even simpler, requiring nothing more than your breath. Yet hidden in its simplicity lies one of the most powerful tools for strengthening the core, calming the mind, and extending vitality well into later years. The fourth Japanese movement is known as Hara Breathing, a practice centered on the lower abdomen, or hara, considered in Japanese tradition to be the true core of the body. At first it looks almost too simple. You sit or stand quietly, place your hands gently on your belly, and breathe deeply. But within this practice lies extraordinary power. It not only strengthens the inner core, but also calms the nervous system, improves oxygen efficiency, and creates stability from the inside out. Unlike shallow chest breathing, which most people fall into without noticing, Hara breathing draws air all the way down to the lower abdomen. As you inhale slowly, the belly expands. As you exhale, it gently contracts. This rhythm awakens the diaphragm, massages the internal organs, and activates deep stabilizing muscles that protect the spine. For seniors, this is especially valuable because weak core muscles and shallow breathing are often linked to back pain, fatigue, and balance problems. The hidden secret of Hara breathing is its dual impact. Physically, it strengthens the core and supports posture. Mentally, it shifts the body into a calmer state by stimulating the vagus nerve, which controls relaxation. That means stress levels decrease, sleep improves, and energy feels more stable throughout the day. Many older adults who adopt this practice report feeling not only stronger, but more centered, less anxious, and more in control of their emotions. Authority for this practice doesn't come only from tradition, but also from martial arts and Zen meditation, where Hara breathing is considered the foundation of endurance and focus. Samurai trained their breath to maintain calm under pressure, and monks used it to sustain long hours of meditation. Modern studies confirm its benefits. Deep abdominal breathing increases oxygenation, reduces blood pressure, and even improves digestion by stimulating the parasympathetic system. One elderly practitioner once explained how Hara breathing gave him back his independence. After struggling with constant fatigue and shallow breathing, he began practicing just 5 minutes every morning and evening. Within weeks, he noticed his posture improving and his energy lasting longer throughout the day. The change wasn't dramatic all at once, but steady, like a quiet strength returning from the inside. For him, it became not just an exercise, but a daily ritual of renewal. For practical use, Hara breathing can be done anywhere, before sleep, while waiting at the doctor's office, or even during a stressful moment in the day. It requires no equipment, no space, just focus and consistency. The effects build over time, making the body feel grounded and resilient. As we continue exploring these Japanese secrets, the journey now brings us to the final movement. This one transforms even the simple act of walking into something completely different, an art of mindful steps that connects the breath, the posture, and the center of the body into a practice that nourishes longevity in ways ordinary walking never could. The fifth Japanese practice is called Tanden Walking, a mindful style of movement that transforms ordinary steps into a complete exercise for body and mind. At its core, it focuses on walking with awareness of the tanden, the same abdominal center engaged in Hara breathing. Instead of rushing or moving without thought, each step is slow, balanced, and anchored in the body's center. This makes Tanden walking entirely different from the automatic walking most people do every day. What sets this practice apart is posture. In Tanden walking, the spine stays tall, the shoulders relaxed and the eyes forward, while the breath flows deeply into the lower abdomen. The steps are shorter, but more intentional. Each movement begins from the hara, not the feet, creating a sense of stability and balance that ripples through the entire body. For seniors, this style of walking reduces the risk of falls and relieves pressure on the joints because it distributes weight more evenly. Japanese wisdom teaches that walking should not only move the body from place to place but also connect mind and spirit. In Okinawa, elders practice walking slowly and consciously, sometimes in gardens or by the sea, using the rhythm of their steps to enter a meditative state. This mindful approach not only strengthens muscles and improves balance, but also lowers stress and brings a sense of peace. Unlike casual walking, which can sometimes reinforce poor posture or shallow breathing, Tanden walking restores alignment with every step. Science supports this philosophy. Studies show that mindful walking with controlled breathing can improve cardiovascular health, sharpen focus, and reduce anxiety. When combined with abdominal breathing, it also enhances oxygen intake and stabilizes the core. It becomes not just exercise, but therapy, an antidote to the rushed, distracted habits of modern life. For older adults, it's a way to transform a simple daily activity into a healing practice without adding extra strain. Consider the example of an 80-year-old man in Okinawa who practiced Tanden walking for just 15 minutes every morning. Though he walked less distance than his peers, his posture remained upright, his balance steady, and his energy remarkably high. When asked about his longevity, he credited not long hours of walking but the quality of each step. For him, walking wasn't about covering ground. It was about cultivating life with every movement. This final movement brings together all the lessons of the previous ones: strength from Shiko, calm from Kansha Taiso, alignment from Makko-Ho, and centered breathing from Hara practice. Tanden Walking unites them into a daily ritual that turns an ordinary habit into an extraordinary act of health. We have now explored 5 Japanese movements, each carrying its own wisdom and unique benefits. Before moving to the conclusion, let's take a moment to bring them together. First came Shiko, the sumo squat that builds strength and balance in ways walking never can. Then Kansha Taiso, the gratitude stretch, which combines flexibility and mindfulness to calm the nervous system. Next, Makko-Ho, the Japanese yoga that realigns the body and restores energy flow. After that, Hara Breathing, the inner core practice that strengthens from within while reducing stress. Finally, Tanden Walking, the mindful step that turns ordinary movement into a ritual of alignment and presence. Each of these 5 practices reveals a central message. True health after 60 is not about distance or speed, but about balance, awareness, and intelligent movement. Walking alone has value, yes, but it is limited. It doesn't build deep strength, it doesn't calm the mind, and it doesn't restore posture. The Japanese approach reminds us that less can be more. 5 mindful movements done with intention can bring more lasting results than endless hours of routine walking. This perspective changes the way we think about aging. Instead of seeing the body as fragile and destined to decline, these practices show that with the right care, the body remains resilient and adaptable. A strong squat keeps the legs powerful. A mindful stretch keeps the joints open. A breathing ritual keeps the core alive. Each movement is a tool, and together they form a toolbox for independence, vitality, and peace of mind. For practical application, imagine creating a short daily routine that includes all 5. 10 minutes of Shiko to awaken strength. A few rounds of Kansha Taiso to set a tone of gratitude. Gentle Makko-Ho stretches to open the spine and restore flow. 5 minutes of Hara breathing to center the mind. And finally, a mindful walk, practicing Tanden steps to integrate everything into daily life. That's less than half an hour, yet the impact could be transformative. The hope here is clear. You don't need to accept decline as inevitable. By adding these movements into your day, you can improve balance, reduce pain, increase energy, and even sharpen mental clarity. The Japanese way of moving teaches us that longevity isn't just about years lived, but about the quality of those years. And best of all, these practices require no expensive equipment, no special location, just your body, your breath, and your intention. With this understanding, the journey now moves naturally to a final message. We've seen what the Japanese have preserved for generations and how it can apply to your own life starting today. The last step is to bring this wisdom into your daily routine and to join a community of others who are choosing to live longer, stronger, and more peacefully. Let's step into that final reflection together. Now that we have uncovered the 5 Japanese movements and seen how they work together, it's time to turn this knowledge into a personal ritual. The real secret is not just knowing about Shiko, Kansha Taiso, Makko-Ho, Hara Breathing, and Tanden Walking. It's practicing them consistently. Each movement is like a seed. If planted once, nothing changes. But if watered every day, those seeds grow into strength, stability, and peace that carry you through the years with confidence. So the question now is simple. Which of these 5 movements will you try first? Perhaps Shiko, if you want to strengthen your legs and prevent falls. Maybe Kansha Taiso if you crave calm and flexibility. Or Makko-Ho, if your back feels stiff and needs relief. You might begin with Hara Breathing, using your breath to quiet the mind before sleep. Or Tanden Walking, transforming something you already do every day into a mindful healing practice. Whichever you choose, the key is to start. Small steps become great changes. This is also where community matters. You are not on this journey alone. Around the world, people over 60 are looking for ways to protect their health, to stay active, and to live with dignity. By sharing your story, your age, your location, your experience, you become part of a collective wisdom that inspires others. When one person gains strength, the whole community grows stronger. That is why every comment, every reflection, every question you leave matters. I want to thank you for taking the time to explore these Japanese secrets with me. Your attention, your curiosity, and your willingness to learn are the first signs of a long and healthy journey. Gratitude is at the heart of Kansha Taiso, but it also belongs here. Thank you for supporting this channel, for being part of this circle of health seekers, and for valuing your own well-being. If this video has given you inspiration or practical guidance, I invite you to take one more step. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who could benefit. These movements are too valuable to remain hidden, and by sharing them, you may help someone else discover a new way to heal, grow, and thrive. And this is not the end, it is only the beginning. Right now, you can choose to click on one of the recommended videos, where we explore more Japanese traditions for longevity, including the eating habits of Okinawan elders and daily rituals for energy. Each video is a piece of a larger puzzle, one that reveals how to live longer, stronger, and more peacefully. Your health is your ritual. Every day is an opportunity to practice, to breathe, to move, and to live with intention. The Japanese have shown us the way. Now it's your turn to walk it.